Hey, Joyful Journeyer. Anita Adams here, your host. As you may know, I've just launched my new book, Whispers of the Soul. And today, I'm going to give you a little taste of that book by reading the first few chapters. So grab yourself a cup of tea, light a candle if you like, get cozy in your favorite chair, and let me take you on a little journey. All right. Yes. We're going to start with part one, the wake up. And chapter one, the challenge. It's a cool spring morning when I throw back the covers and quickly get dressed. Pulling on my khaki green hiking pants and sweatshirt, tucking my hair into my baseball cap, I quickly slip out the room. Tom is still sleeping and has no reason to get up so early. He's a school teacher and schools have been shut down for over 2 weeks now. All is quiet amidst the lockdowns. I smother peanut butter on my toast. Peanut butter is my great love and comfort food. Eating it by the spoonful is one of my hidden pleasures, and nothing is better than enjoying it melted on hot toast. The last bite goes down with a tinge of regret as I lick my sticky fingers and head out the door. The birds are active this morning. Their excited chit-chat sounds like some grand old party. They are unbothered by what's going on in the world. Perhaps they are celebrating as everyone is hiding inside and the world has become theirs again. I do love these springtime birds as their arrival always marks a new beginning. That thought brings a bit of hope into my heart, even as everything has been feeling so hopeless lately. Other than the birds, the neighborhood is pretty sleepy. The dew glistens on the bluebells springing up along the edge of the driveway. A coyote hovers at the corner of the alley. He looks back at me and then disappears behind a house into the forest and beyond. That's where I'm heading to, Mosquito Creek Park, a strip of forested land running along a creek below the Trans-Canada Highway. For the past 2 weeks, every morning at the crack of dawn, I've been walking along this creek. It's the strangest assignment I've ever been given from Lisa Marie, my business coach. She challenged me to go for a daily walk in nature for 30 days. I pushed back when she gave me this instruction. I mean, seriously? What kind of business coach tells her clients to go for a walk in the forest? What I need is business advice, not nature therapy. More specifically, I need advice on how to save my business from folding like a tin house in a tornado. All right, to be fair, Lisa Marie did ask me what I typically do to ease my stress. And I told her walking among the giant Douglas firs in the forest calms me. But from my perspective, this wasn't a time for leisurely walks in nature. This was a time to take action. There's so much that needs to be done and decisions to be made. You'll find a way, Lisa Marie tells me as I relent. I make a commitment to her and to myself to do a daily walk in the forest for 30 days. Maybe it will help. My life is feeling so out of control, and I'm truthfully freaked out. I know I'm not alone in these feelings. The whole world has turned upside down. The young man who lives next door has been screaming. Every day I hear him yelling at someone. I don't know who. He lives alone in the basement suite. It might be his mom or dad over the phone, or he's just screaming into the empty space. The anguish in his voice is unsettling. My stomach turns in on itself every time he starts up. We've never actually met. I only see the back of him out of my bathroom window as he goes into his suite. He's been living there for at least a year. Suddenly I'm sad that I've never taken the time to say hello. Who have I become that I don't know the person who lives next door? In my mind, I've gone over to check on him 1,000 times to ask if there's anything I can do to help. My fear stops me in my tracks every time, though. Shame taking its place. Shame at my cowardice and my inability to help somebody in need. I send up a little prayer that this young man will be all right and that he finds the help he needs. The help I'm too afraid to give. I rationalize that he could be dangerous. I have my own stuff to worry about. I set aside thinking about it to try and handle my own day. Seems God is listening. The next day, the owners of the house, who live upstairs from this young man, are at his door, speaking to him kindly and asking if there is anything they can do to help him through this troubling time. There is part of me that really wishes I could have done more for that than just send up a prayer, be the person that helped him. I have to let it go again. Remembering the power of prayer, I'm grateful someone came to this young man's aid. We are a month into the lockdown, and it seems the writing is on the wall for my business. I started this business almost 2 decades ago, which grew out of a little hobby that began 5 years before that. It defines who I am and how I like to be seen by the world. Founder and executive director of a national nonprofit arts organization. The title just rolls off the tongue and tastes sweet like honey. It fills me with a sense of pride and accomplishment. We promote Canadian films, specifically Canadian feature films, for their theatrical release. A month ago, though, everything shut down, including production and movie theaters. With those closures and the massive uncertainty around what the future holds for the film industry, all of my funding partners and sponsors pulled out. I'm left sitting well into a line of credit with a sense of great responsibility to my staff resting heavily on my shoulders. All of us, myself included, depend on the paycheck this company provides. My business is my biggest concern right now, but it's not the only one that is contributing to my anxiety. My husband and I have been saving to move the family to India for a year. This has been a big dream that we've been working on and saving for the past 4 years. My husband's company has docked 20% of his paycheck over these 4 years. And then in year 5, he can take a leave of absence and still be given a bi-monthly paycheck from those savings. That leave was supposed to start in a few months. We did this once before in 2013 and moved the family to France for a year. It was an incredible experience, made easy with my business that could be managed online. We've been excited about doing something like it again in another part of the world we haven't seen yet. Apparently, the world isn't ready to see us, though. We had to cancel these plans. Canceling the trip has triggered my anxiety to a whole new level, as now we need to find another place to live. The lease on the house we are renting is about to expire, and the agreement can't be renewed. Not that I'd want to renew it. The landlady is a little unbalanced. 3 months into living here, she sent me a text requesting a home inspection. Tom and I were on a motorbike trip at the time, but our son was home, so we arranged for her to do her inspection while we were cruising through Banff National Park. When we got home later that week, half the cutlery was pulled out of the drawer and put in glass jars on the counter next to a 3-page handwritten document about all the things she wanted us to do or not do in the house. All the cutlery, for one thing, was too heavy for the drawers, and we needed to limit it to what was strictly necessary. According to her, was 1 fork, spoon, and knife each. Things have gone from bad to worse with her constant calls and text messages about what we needed to do. I've stopped allowing her to randomly come in the house, but apparently we signed an agreement that gave her permission to do home inspections every 3 months. Note to self, read and question the fine print. Lesson learned. We just had to make it to the end of July when our lease would be up, and then we'd be off on our grand adventure to India. Except, of course, our trip to India is canceled, and now we need to find a new place to live. Add that people are afraid of any contact, and everyone is hunkering down in their homes and keeping their distance. Finding a new home is proving to be challenging. The fear and uncertainty around what is currently happening in the world fuels my stress. I can't even recognize this crazy woman that I've become. I've pasted signs all over the house that scream, "Stop! Wash your hands!" I walk around behind each member of my family, wiping down every surface they touch. I insist they come into the house through the basement and then strip down and throw their clothes into the washing machine before going upstairs. They appease my demands at the beginning of all this. Now they just ignore me and try to sneak past me. This is not doing good things for our relationship. Grocery shopping has become a thing too. Originally, when I got home, I put everything in bins on the deck for a few days before allowing anything in the house. Now I've had to adjust that strategy as the squirrels and raccoons have become wise to what I'm doing and found a way into our supplies. That really upsets me. More than it should. Before I would have found it funny and congratulated the little beasties on being so clever. Not now. I don't find humor in any of this. My newest plan is to lay everything out on the patio table, spray it all down with disinfectant, and then bring it in. Grocery shopping has become a major time suck. I won't allow anyone else to do it because they won't do it right. They won't give it the attention I know it needs to keep us all safe. All of this is taking me away from figuring out my number one big challenge: how to save my business. And now my business coach is telling me to go for a walk in the woods. Like, come on. Somehow she got a commitment out of me, and the only way I feel I can make that work in my schedule is if I go at the crack of dawn, which is why it's just me, the birds, and the occasional coyote. I'm halfway through the challenge, 2 weeks in, as it's early in the morning and literally no one else is ever on the trails at this time, except of course the little forest creatures. I get into the habit of speaking out loud to God and the universe, unloading my woes and demanding to know what I'm supposed to do. That becomes my mantra, and I repeat it over and over as I stomp through the trails. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I've been asking that question every day on this early morning walk. Today, I ask again, expecting the same: birds and silence. Except today, I get a reply. Chapter 2, The First Whisper. The voice I hear is my own, but it speaks so differently than the way I'm feeling. It's calm and confident, soothing even. And in response to my question, she simply asks, "What do you want to do?" I don't miss a beat and snap, "What do you mean, what do I want to do? What am I supposed to do?" No, Anita, the question is, what do you want to do? I don't know. I don't know. Yes, you do. I'm silenced by that. Walking home, I feel more confused than ever. When I get home, I have a hard time getting into the work that needs to be done. I'm distracted by this conversation I've had with myself. What was that? What just happened? I mean, I've had conversations with myself before. Who hasn't? But this was different. It was like I was speaking to an older, wiser version of myself. I sit at my desk staring at my massive list of to-dos and make zero progress on any of it. I'm distracted. Deciding to call it quits for the day, I head to the bookstore. The one in Park Royal Mall is open, and they'll let a few people in at a time. When I arrive, I don't know what I'm looking for. Answers, I suppose. The spirituality section at the back of the store calls to me. A book catches my eye. Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. I pull it off the shelf, flip it open, and this one sentence leaps off the page like a frog diving into a pond of insights. Frustration and anxiety come from not listening to the soul. As I read those words again, I feel something flicker in my chest and my heart speeds up. The hairs on my arm raise. I've landed on a truth and my body realizes it before my mind has time to catch up. I'm not listening to my soul, and awareness dawns. The answers I'm seeking are within me. I close the book, sit on the floor, and lean against the bookshelf. I can't help feeling that there is some greater force at work. What has guided me to pick up this book, to read those very words, to question if I'm listening to my soul? Something bigger than I can understand is happening, and it's both unnerving and exhilarating. It's a new day, and I jump out of bed with a little more excitement and anticipation in my step than yesterday. Today, I've got a new question to pose. I'm not going to ask, what am I supposed to do? Today, I'm going to connect with my soul. Today, I'm going to ask, what do I want? My body is buzzing with anticipation about this perceived new understanding I have and the answers I'm sure to get. I wait until I'm down the path away from the houses by the creek. I take in a deep breath and slowly exhale. And then I ask my question as if I'm speaking to a great oracle in front of her crystal ball. What do I want? What do I really want? And I listen for the answers to come. There is so much that fills my ears. The sound of water rushing over the rocks in the creek, birds chirping in the trees, wind rustling the leaves, trees groaning as they rub against one another, gravel crunching under my feet as I walk the winding path. There is so much noise around me, all within my awareness. I even hear the wood bugs scurrying over the old tree stumps. Yet there is no calm, confident voice providing any answers. Nothing bubbles up from within. Disappointment is all that remains. I thought I was onto something here. With 2 more weeks of this nature challenge, I resolve to try again tomorrow. The days pass by. Every morning in the forest, I ask my question, and nothing. Not all is lost, though. I'm feeling better overall. I don't feel nearly as stressed as when I first started this challenge, which is now almost a month ago. I feel happier, not exactly happy, just happier than I was before. The world no longer feels like it is crumbling under my feet. This new state of being I'm in feels lighter. The world holds more hope. And I'm even feeling grateful that Lisa Marie gave me this challenge. And I'm really noticing the beauty all around me and feeling so grateful for that too. In fact, speaking my gratitude out loud has become part of my morning ritual and my conversation with God, the universe, the squirrels. I continue to feel lighter and lighter with this new morning practice. It's as if the clouds of doubt and anxiety are lifting and dissipating. Yet that sense of desperation for answers remains, like I'm trying to strong-arm the universe into telling me what to do. I realize I've got to let go of trying to control everything, particularly the universe. Let go of expectations. Let go of my demands. Let go of trying to force something to happen. Just breathe, I tell myself. Just surrender to what is. Just be present. As feelings of hope and gratitude swell in my heart, I return to asking that familiar question, what do I want? And this time, I hear it, the whispers of my soul. I want to close my business, it tells me. I catch my breath. What? That can't be right. No, I don't want to close my business. Do I? My heart braces and confusion envelopes me. I can't possibly want to close my business. I want to save it. Don't I? It's been my baby for nearly 18 years. It's my identity. It's my paycheck. I need this business. Is that what I really want? I demand as the claws of anxiety reach for me. Nothing. That calm, confident voice has left me again. For Pete's sakes! I want to scream, fine. I'll come back tomorrow and try again then. I turn on my heels and head back up the creekside path to make my way home, where I can tackle that ever-growing to-do list and feel like I'm back in control. Chapter 3, The Confirmation. It's a new day, day 26 of this 30-day challenge, and new hope fills me. I jump out of bed eager to get back into the woods. Tom is sound asleep. I'll be back before he even stirs, and hopefully I'll have some more answers, some more clarity about what I really want. Am I being silly? Is there really something to this soul voice stuff? In my heart of hearts, it feels true because I've been here before, almost 10 years ago when I just about destroyed my marriage. What I've dubbed as my soul voice spoke to me differently then. It came to me as feelings and in dreams. Back then, clearly, I wasn't doing a good job of listening to my soul voice. When the information finally registered, it was almost too late. When I was ignoring the nudges of my soul, there was a chasm growing between me and my husband, a great empty void. Into that void had slipped so much of what I used to love about us. Our playful banter, our easygoing nature, the ability to talk about everything and nothing, our sexual energy. And that chasm was continuing to grow like a black hole until I woke up literally and figuratively and started to pay attention to those feelings and unnerving dreams that would wake me up in the middle of the night. One dream was particularly powerful and Alfred Hitchcock worthy. Tom and our friend Dawn are ahead of me. We're in an alpine, scrambling over scree slopes with loose rocks. The high noon sun is killer hot, and I can feel my energy waning. Tom and Dawn seem to be having a much easier time while I'm struggling to keep up. A small, sparrow-like bird swoops down, lands by my feet, and begins pecking at my exposed, sandaled toes. I shoo it away, but just as quickly another bird lands and begins pecking at my feet, and then another bird and another come at me, all swarming and pecking at my feet. I scream for help as I try to kick the birds and run away. I fall, and more birds are coming for me. Tom looks back. Our eyes meet, and he says, "You chose this path." And with that, he turns and continues up the mountain with Dawn. I will never forget that dream or that time in my life. The meaning was clear. The path I was choosing to walk was hurting me and my relationship. The following few years became about getting on the right path, forcing me to look into the dark corners of who I was choosing to be and why. As painful as that journey was, I'm grateful for it. I'm even grateful in a strange sort of way for some of the bad choices I made. I learned about myself and came to better understand the woman I really wanted to be, what I really wanted for my life. I can feel the ragged edges of shock that I've forgotten the lessons I learned back then. Although I didn't recognize it as soul talk at that time in my life, I had to have a conversation with my soul then too. Back then I called it self-reflection. And that dream, well, I thought that was just freaky. Freaky enough to make me take a hard look at how I was behaving though. Clearly, I had more to learn. So here it is, day 26 on this nature challenge. And the beautiful trailhead of Mosquito Creek now somehow seems like more than just a trailhead. This trail is now my journey. I don't even wait until I get down the path to the creek like I usually do before I ask my question. The thrill of discovery and deeper understanding is thrumming through my veins. Here it goes. What do I really want? I blurt out loud with the emphasis on the word really. Nothing. Damn it. I get frustrated again, and I know that's not going to help. All right, maybe there is a certain way that this works, a certain way of doing things that enable me to connect with my soul and hear those whispers. Then it hits me. When I heard my soul voice yesterday, it was after I had taken time to connect with my environment and when my heart felt full of gratitude. That's how it happened 10 years ago, too. That's right. And I'm just realizing it. It was on that 2-week trek through the Swiss Alps when I was in awe of my environment and feeling so grateful. That's when I got the answers I was looking for back then. Excitement bubbles up with this realization. Breathe, I tell myself. Get present. The air in my lungs feels alive. Everything around me starts to feel alive. I'm noticing everything, like really noticing. I notice how the sunlight filters in through the maple leaves, how incredibly green those leaves are. They're beautiful. There are a few crows in the trees calling to each other. What interesting sounds they make. I touch the moss on a nursery stump and it tickles the tips of my fingers. I marvel at how this old fallen tree has become nourishment for so much life around it. This incredible ecosystem works in such harmony, and I've become part of it. A squirrel runs across the path, scampers up a tree, then sits on a branch and watches me. He seems to be cheering me on. You've got this. A choir of bees in a heather bush along the path are dancing around the little white flower heads. So magical. I take in a deep breath. I can almost taste the sweet fragrance of the heather bush in the air. The earthy smells of the forest wash over me, cleansing me of all other thoughts. My body relaxes and my heart expands as I'm filled with gratitude for this sanctuary. I realize I am open, willing, and ready to receive what God, the universe, my higher self have to share. Trust settles over me with the knowledge that the answers always come when I'm ready to receive them. And I'm ready now. So I ask, do I really want to close my business? Breathe. Yes. Really? Yes. And the truth of this answer hits. I do want to close my business. The realization settles. I've been lying to myself. My passion for this business has been slowly eroding, but I've been denying that, pushing those feelings away because this business is how I define who I am. It gives me a sense of purpose, status, recognition, and a paycheck. I couldn't bring myself to even explore the possibilities of letting that all go before. It was a scary idea to consider even fleetingly. Be without my business? How? Being the boss feels good, even if I told my staff not to call me that. I love working on my schedule, creating my hours, and building a legacy. If I close my business, who am I? What else could I possibly do? I've been scared that there would be nothing else for me. What else could I do that would give me that same sense of purpose? Yet as I walk through the woods contemplating closing my business, I feel the truth of that desire resonate through my body. The truth is that I am done with this business. I no longer want to be the executive director of a national nonprofit arts organization, as awesome as that has been for so long. And yes, I am scared to leave, but that's no reason to stay. A lightness of being begins to wash over me. With this expanded awareness of how I really feel and what I want, a giddiness and an excitement for what is yet to come emerges. Something incredible is now accessible to me. Like clouds clearing from a mountain peak, the light breaks through and I can finally see more of the breathtaking landscape beyond. I feel like a child who has discovered that there really is magic in the world. Magic stirs within me too, and that so much more is possible. I can sense more is about to happen, that this is just the beginning. My life is about to radically change. Well, Joyful Journeyer, I hope you enjoyed listening to the first 3 chapters of my book, Whispers of the Soul. This book is broken into 3 parts. Let me tell you just a little bit about that. Part 1 is called The Wake Up, and it's about waking up to the realization that life cannot continue the way it has been. It was also during this time that I began to experience a deeper awareness of a higher consciousness at work in my life and a growing sense of personal connection to that source. Part 2 is the wisdom way. Now, this is the biggest section of the book and contains many personal stories and lessons learned on this path to becoming a better, more confident, conscious, and joyful human being. In this section, I teach the Wisdom Way method, which is actually the foundation of my coaching practice. And then part 3 is love and transcendence. In this section, I share how to deepen your connection to the divine or your higher self, and how to love yourself so deeply that you become unshakable in the pursuit of your dreams. I hope by sharing the first few chapters of my book that I've piqued your interest in reading it. Whether you are seeking spiritual enlightenment or want to discover how to live your best life, the path forward is the same. And that journey begins by listening to the whispers of the soul. Visit my website at joyfulinspiredliving.com to order your book and to get your free copy of my companion workbook that will further aid you on your journey of transformation. Thanks for tuning in, Joyful Journeyer, and we'll catch you next time.